What's up? Happy Monday. Welcome to 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. I am Meghan Triplett, and I'm not quite sure if that's Strong Roser or not. I think it is Strong Roser. But let's start with our first stands and let's talk about the NFL because we just got done with week one. And I got to ask, what's your biggest overreaction? I feel as if you're answering the question already, though.
Dominating performance from the San Francisco 49ers yesterday. Actually, we almost blew a here. There we go.
We weren't done.
I go with this one. Okay. They were very dominant as they should have been. And then when they lost Jason Verrett, who's their best cornerback, and they were already down their other starting corner, Emmanuel Mosley, things kind of flipped upside down on them. And then George Kittle fumbles a ball on a onside kick, which he never fumbles. So it was weird. Then Deebo Samuel gets a first down on a big 3rd and 12 and he fumbles, and he never fumbles either. And it just was like, oh my God, everything is going the wrong way with us. But we held on. It should not have been that close. I think the good thing after the game is the team did not feel great about it. Afterwards, Kyle Shanahan asked the team, how do you feel about that win? Nobody said anything. So good news. Trey Lance got his first NFL touchdown pass. And Jimmy Garoppolo looked great. He did. He looked great. I know it's against the Lions. The Lions are horrible, and teams are going to – I mean, the Green Bay Packers will bounce back this weekend and destroy Detroit. The Lions are horrible. But, no, just win is a win, and it's a road win, so I'll take it. Other reactions from the NFL for me I had questions about the Titans going into this season. I wasn't totally buying into them. I wasn't totally buying into the Titans this season. Another one would be probably how bad the Falcons looked. I mean, that was like Arthur Smith, their new head coach, came over from the Titans, was their OC, and he did great things as the Titans OC. They looked horrible. And maybe are the Falcons going to be this bad, or are the Eagles better than we thought? Because I am not a Jalen Hurts believer, but man, he looked good yesterday. And Devontae Smith is awesome already as a rookie. The other thing is the rookie quarterbacks, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. I think you saw with a lot of them, especially Lawrence, Mac Jones, and Zach Wilson. It is way different when you're playing number one starters in the NFL than it is in the preseason. It did not look as simple, especially Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, they did their damage when you look at their ending numbers and the fact they both have, Lawrence has 3 touchdowns and Zach Wilson has 2. They did their damage when the games were Zach Wilson's team was already down 16-0. The Texans blew out the Jaguars. So again, it's like some of the stuff they did was in garbage time, and it's how can you do it in the middle of the flow of the game? I actually was pretty impressed with Mac Jones. That's a tough game. Miami's tough. Your first opponent being the Miami Dolphins. That's a tough team. And I thought he played pretty well and kind of did the best he could. The Bears, there's no reason to start Andy Dalton. There's no reason. Just play Justin Fields. There's no reason. Andy Dalton can't throw the ball more than 8 yards down the field. Just play Justin Fields.
All right, so here's my overreactions from NFL Week 1. I'm going to go with Arizona Cardinals. I think their defense looks good. And I think that they look so good that I can see them going to the Super Bowl. I still have questions about their offense, but they played great against my Tennessee Titans. I'm disappointed. I am heartbroken that how my Titans showed up. They gotta do better. They gotta do better, and especially at home. Like, I don't know what that was. I know they've dealt with a lot of COVID issues, but that was not the Titans that we expected to come out there. Another overreaction that I have to say is I think Green Bay. I think everything that's happened in the offseason, everything that's going on, all the drama centered around it, it showed in week 1. And I know Aaron Rodgers, he is Aaron Rodgers, former MVP, but I don't think that the Green Bay Packers are going to have a good year at all. I think the drama affected a lot of that.
I'm with you. I'm with you with Green Bay. I'm with you there. I do think, however, I think next week is the test. I don't think it's just New Orleans. I think New Orleans is going to – we all talked about Drew Brees leaving. I think we forget that they got a load of talent on that team. Yeah. They got a ton of talent. And Michael Thomas didn't play either, but they got a load of talent on that team. And – the thing is going to be how do they play against Detroit?
They had 3 points.
If they got a close game against Detroit next Sunday, then I think it's really, really time to worry because that Lions team is bad. If they can't put up points against the Lions,
All right, let's now get to college football because it was week 2 and a weekend where there's so much going on. I'm gonna give you my biggest thing for the Southern Heritage Classic for me. My TSU Tigers, they fell to Jackson State. Went into this game a little skeptical. Was worried about TSU because of how they played in week 1, and it all came out again in week 2. We got to figure out what we're doing on offense. Who are really number 1 quarterback? We got to have a number 1.
Get it together, Meghan.
We don't have it. We don't have it yet. We're still trying to figure it out.
Don't call Eddie George.
Bryant, are we gonna go with Hickenbottom? I have no idea. It's his first year. It's his first season.
It is first year.
He's got a great coaching staff. Let's get there. But Deion Sanders, they were impressive. His son, Shooter Sanders, oh my gosh.
It's Coach Prime, Meghan. It's Coach Prime. Please, you've already seen a reporter get in trouble for that.
Look, I'm not doing that. But it was a great weekend overall. I wish my TSU Tigers could have gotten a victory, but any HBCU on national TV, even though it was a game delay on ESPNU, we'll talk about that later. But it was a great weekend in Memphis.
If you hate, I can't believe you're here. You Titans, Tennessee State is a rough football weekend.
It was a rough weekend.
For me, the Memphis Tigers game is really the one that I watched the most of. And I watched the entire game. And I think people are getting onto their defense a little too much because they ended up giving up, 50 points. But I think their defense was on the field for way too long. Their defense was on the field for 98 plays. And if you look at the first half of that game, the defense really played well. And I just think as the game went on, they were just on the field so much because Memphis scored on explosive plays. The Brandon Thomas kid had a couple of explosive runs. Calvin Austin had a couple of explosive touchdown plays that he scored fast on, like it was like one play, boom, he's gone, and it's a quick possession, and then your defense is right back out there. But I do think overall their defense actually played pretty well. Mississippi State will be the big test coming up this weekend, 3:00 for Liberty Bowl. I'm sure it'll be a packed house. I also want.
What about your Ohio State Buckeyes? What happened?
I want to throw on some love.
Oh.
To the Arkansas Razorbacks and head coach Sam Pittman. Just a dominating performance in their win over the Texas Longhorns. Shout out to Sam Pittman and shout out to Arkansas. Sam Pittman's a funny dude. Seems like a really good dude. It'll be cool if he really does. Arkansas was better last year than people thought they were. And if they're better this year than people think they're going to be, that'll be really cool. So I know a ton of Arkansas fans, and they're all awesome people. So shout out to Arkansas.
Now,
that's an awesome win.
Roser,
Texas, this is what you're getting in.
It was an impressive win. Texas is not back for those who were wondering and asking that question. Are you concerned with Ohio State really quickly with Oregon coming?
Yeah, I think you have to be. CJ Stroud is not Justin Fields, and that defense is bad. Like people ask me if I bet on Ohio State, and that asked me if I was going to bet the game, and I said I'm staying away from that. I do not trust their defense at all. Yeah. And their defense was shaky last year, so I don't trust the defense. And CJ Stroud is not Justin Fields. I wonder how long the countdown is on until we see Quinn Ewers, who was the 5-star quarterback who enrolled at Ohio State early. He's from Texas. He's the number 1 player in the entire country. And he's already got NIL deals crazy. So I wonder how long before we see him.
All right, really quickly after our last stands, Marc Gasol, we found the news about Friday, him getting traded back to the Grizzlies. We know this most likely reported he's going to stay in Spain. But the idea of him retiring as a Grizzlies player, just give me your 1-word reaction.
Awesome.
Love it. Melts my heart. Warms my heart. I'm here all for it. That's all the time that we have for this edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew.